The top 10 side effects people with lupus suffer from prednisone. The World Lupus Federation did a survey of people who have lupus across the entire world. Over 7,700 people from over 100 countries answered the survey. So this is truly a global survey of what people taking prednisone or prednisolone, depending on the country, are actually suffering when it comes to prednisone side effects. And this is pretty amazing because prednisone is a super old drug, and the company that created it never had to do research about what the side effects are. So finding out that there's a global survey of thousands of people is amazing. And now one clarification before I share the results of the survey is that these are people with one specific disease, and that's called lupus. Lupus itself is a very damaging autoimmune condition. And so the side effects a person with lupus gets may not be the same side effects that people with other diseases get, whether it's the disease itself that people are feeling is a side effect, like they're mistaking the symptoms of their disease for the side effect symptoms, or whether there's some effect of lupus itself making the side effects come out differently. So I just wanted to clarify that before I get started. So the number one most frequent, most common side effect that people with lupus experienced is weight gain. And this is not surprising, as most surveys do show that weight gain is the top side effect. 77% of people surveyed suffered weight gain. The number two most common side effect of prednisone is mood swings, with 54% of people reporting that they suffered mood swings. Number three most common side effect is appearance changes. And they didn't define necessarily what appearance changes means. So I'm inferring that that could be anything from moon face to the shape of your body changing to acne. They didn't specify. So I'm just going to assume for the most part that means moon face. Insomnia is number 4, with 52% of people suffering insomnia. I personally suffered this and it was horrible. Number 5 is increased appetite, with 51% of people complaining of this. And it's pretty typical, with tons of memes and silly jokes made about this. Number 6, this one really surprised me, hair loss. 50% of people reported hair loss. Again, I don't know if this is the lupus itself or the prednisone. I did personally suffer the side effect and I don't have lupus, but it's not one that is commonly reported. It is not in the package insert published by the FDA. Number 7 is anxiety. At 40% of people suffered anxiety. Number 8 is depression at 36%. Muscle weakness was number 9. And finally, infection, number 10 at 23%. But I don't want to just leave you hanging right there. I have some other very interesting facts to share. 6 out of 10 people who took prednisone for lupus experienced one major side effect. More than half of people got a major side effect. And what is really interesting about this is the quote by the director of the Lupus Foundation in Ghana. This is what she said. The side effects of the steroids used by lupus patients can be complete diseases for other people. I completely agree. So what are these complete diseases that people with lupus are having to deal with because they're taking prednisone and it's causing these complete disease side effects? Let's find out. The first complete disease that people complained of the most is diabetes. Truly, on its own, diabetes is an incredibly harmful disease. But there's a special kind of diabetes called steroid-induced diabetes caused by prednisone itself. The second complete disease side effect is heart disease. Heart disease from prednisone can be anything from heart palpitations to cardiac arrest to strokes. Number 3 is organ failure. Now, I really think this is probably a lupus thing because prednisone doesn't usually cause organ failure. Number 4 is osteoporosis, and this is most definitely a side effect of prednisone. Prednisone is the number 1 drug that causes osteoporosis, so this is definitely a side effect. And finally, number 5, disease caused by prednisone as a side effect is vision impairment. Prednisone can cause anything from glaucoma to cataracts to blurry vision and many others. If you want to know more, check out my eye side effect video. And so while 6 in 10 people suffered one of these major side effects that are a complete disease for other people, 7 out of 10 suffered these major side effects after taking prednisone for 5 or more years. And while this might sound like all doom and gloom, 90% of people who take steroids for lupus agree that it is worth it to them, that it helps with their symptoms of lupus, and in a lot of cases has saved their lives. And so while it does cause a lot of harm, 90% of people agree that it is very helpful. And at the same time, 95% of people who take steroids for lupus suffered at least one side effect. It's pretty hard to take prednisone and not suffer at least one side effect. If you're wondering how to counteract side effects, you should download my Prednisone Checklist. It includes my top tips for how to counteract prednisone side effects. You can get it by clicking the link to download it now.